Hello. This I guess would be my next video I'm shooting today. It's about, let's see, 1:22. Getting ready to go up to the track in about an hour. Today I wanted to make this video all about World War II. And in dedication to all the men that died on the battlefield. You know, otherwise we would be speaking German today. It's kind of intense thinking about all the people that died. I mean, I just capitalize on one moment just to highlight one battle out of the many battles. Normandy. When the Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, you know, around 2,500 to 3,000 deaths occurred on our side. We really don't have a sure number of casualties. And you know why? Because when there's a bunch of pissed off Nazis with MG42s firing at you, it's kind of, your body's kind of become unidentifiable. When, you know, hundreds and hundreds of bullets kind of go right through you. And the men that jumping out of the boats, I mean, they drowned because they couldn't even carry their gear in the water because they had to get out of that boat, otherwise they were going to be gunned down. Can you imagine worrying about storming that beach? I mean, that is your mission objective, is to take that beach, and you couldn't take that beach. You jump out of the boat and you didn't even make it to the beach and you drowned. You want to talk about a death, man? Drowning. I feel so sorry for them, but I give them the utmost respect and honor for dying in the name of the United States, you know, and freedom. I want to talk about how they must have felt. You know, I was having a deep thought today when I got up this morning and I was making myself some breakfast. I was just like, you think about it on their terms, you know, back then, 1940s, is the best time in history. They might have had families, you know, wives of their own children, when they were giving them orders that they were going to have to go there and do that mission in an attempt to take Europe back. I mean, they had to look their wives and their children in the eyes and say, you know, there's a possibility that I'm never coming home, and promise them that they're coming home when they knew that themselves they probably weren't. You know, they knew that it was going to be hell. They knew most of them were going to die. They knew that, but it was a necessary death. You're going up against one of the greatest enemies in the history of the world, you know, Nazi Germany, with their very powerful military that vastly outnumbered Americans, you know, and Allied forces. But the Russians, they had the number game, but the Germans had the skill game. I mean, 14 million Russians died. 14 million. 14 million people. Can you imagine watching 14 million people just die? That's a huge chunk of people just disappeared, man. It's kind of remarkable to me, man. It's like, you know, we had about 400,000 people die on our side in World War II. 400,000. I just can't possibly imagine what was going through their heads when they were riding on that amphibious vehicles going up to that beach. You know what their mission was, to kill the enemy and take the beach. But what do you think the Germans' mission was? To kill the people trying to take the beach, and they had high ground. See, if anybody actually understands the concept of high ground, if you've ever played any type of war game outside the woods, you'd understand that if you have high ground, you're most probably going to win. If you don't win, it's a big deal. A lot of people don't understand why we take military so seriously. It's because if we didn't have a military, we wouldn't have nothing. If we didn't have a great military, who the fuck stopping any other country that wants to take us over coming in? I mean, Christ, everybody's like, well, Canada sucks, okay? That's another time. That's another video I'm going to get into. But the reason that Canada can afford all that stupid bullshit that they have is because they don't have no fucking military, is because of us. Because if anybody fucks with Canada, that's too close to home. And anybody who has any common sense will realize that if anybody fucks with Canada, America's going to put our fucking size 12 boot up their ass so far we'll wear them like a new Nike shoe. You know? That's just how it works. we take our military to the utmost, sincerity and most seriousness as possible, because I do believe the United States military are the baddest motherfuckers in the face of the earth, and it's the reason behind that we are who we are today. Because you can put 100 men in a room, but the guy who can kick all the other guys' asses, who's the biggest, strongest, fastest, is going to be the one in charge. You know, the golden rule. Whoever has the fucking biggest gun makes the fucking rules, man. That's how it works. That's just how it works, man. That's the golden rule. And nobody can change the golden rule. Nobody. And I really just hope that people understand what type of enemy we're going up against right now in Afghanistan. You got to appreciate the situation, you know, between our Marines and our Rangers, our SEALs, airborne, any armed forces that's seeing serious combat. Right, you're going up against an enemy that's willing to put a bomb on their child and sacrifice their child to defeat their enemy. Is there anybody? Is there any reason that you would ever sacrifice your child for victory? Ever? No, there isn't. You could walk up to me right now and say you would end all the peace, or all the war, all the drug abuse, every problem the earth is seeing right now, hunger, all that stuff. Somebody could tell me, if you sacrifice your son, we'll end all of it. And I'd say, no, you can go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? You never sacrifice your child for any reason at all. And these people are willing to put a bomb on their kid and blow up their kid to kill a few Marines, or a few Rangers, or anything, and any type of armed forces. It's ridiculous. You're going up against an enemy that hates you so much they're willing to sacrifice their children. Now, if you haven't understood the seriousness of that yet, it's like, have you ever hated something so much you're willing to sacrifice your kid for? You haven't. So, therefore, you cannot possibly understand what those crazy people are thinking in their heads when they do that shit. That's the type of enemy you're going up against. If they're willing to do that, it's kind of nuts, because you can only imagine what else that they're thinking. What other devious shit are they planning? They're snakes, man. They're not men of honor. You stand out there on a battlefield, go in there with guns, and they're dipping fucking screws and bolts and shit and rat poison and wrapping them with dynamite so the rat poison kills guys like that. You don't got no honor. You don't got no balls, man. What kind of men does that say that country has if they're fucking sending their kids out there with fucking all kinds of shit? Sending their fucking kids out there with bombs on them and fucking diseases and all kinds of things to try to hurt our guys. When I get over there at some point, it's gonna be a while, because I got to get my paperwork finished, and then I gotta go to basic, and then jump school, airborne, then ranger school, and get selected. But after all that, and my training after that, I'm gonna be facing that type of enemy. I have zero tolerance for that kind of shit. If I ever see somebody who fucking puts a bomb on their kid, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Because who knows what else kind of bullshit that they'll do. Who else are they gonna harm? You can't negotiate with people like that. What the fuck is there to talk about? Nothing. There's nothing to talk about if you put a bomb on your child. There's no talking about that at all. So that's all I wanted to say. I gotta get ready to go, Alright guys, well, that's me on war, World War II and stuff like that. God bless. Have a nice day, everyone. Huzzah.